Oh, Treyarch. Just when things look like they're turning for the better, we get hit with an update that reverts a lot of the progress we've seen within Cold War. Now, this isn't talking about multiplayer this time, this is talking about zombies. And if you guys don't know, there's been a huge zombies change that we'll get into in a little bit here. But just last update, we saw that multiplayer received a huge improvement. Not only did we get 12v12, we got a bunch of party game modes back, we got tournaments, and we got standoff, and a bunch of good and interesting additions to the game that improved the game overall. But with this update towards zombies just seems like it hit a huge regression. To give some context into what happened into Cold War zombies, we received a new update that brought us a brand new Easter egg within Outbreak, and it also changed a lot of balancing in the game. The zombies, believe it or not, got buffed and are now stronger, and the weapons, including the ray gun and wonder weapons, all received nerfs, which doesn't make sense because Call of Duty Cold War, zombies as a whole, this year seems to cater towards the newer players and the less skilled to bring more players into the game. So, nothing wrong with being inclusive. They have come out with statements that said, hey, Easter eggs this year, they're going to be a lot easier so they're more accessible to other players in the game. And not only that, but high rounds are going to be a lot easier because there's a health cap on round 45 and all the wonder weapons and all the weapons max upgraded can do solid damage for infinite rounds, so everyone can do high rounds as long as you can maintain training zombies or find a good camping spot, which means that this is going to be the most inclusive zombies ever. However, with this update, it's like Treyarch saying, alright, so at the beginning of the game we were being inclusive, but now we're going to make the game increasingly difficult so that the casual players and the new players to the game are now going to struggle and have a much harder time. I would be completely fine if zombies launched in the state it is now, where the weapons were nerfed on launch and they weren't as strong as they were on launch. But my issue is they're switching the balance of the game too far into the game's life cycle, because a lot of players that are brand new to zombies are going to be scared away because it just became a lot harder than it once was. The people that are brand new to zombies in Cold War might be playing casually because this is the first zombies experience. They don't have to worry about 800 Panzer Soldats and Manglers and crazy Easter eggs coming at them left, right, and center, and they can actually just casually play and learn zombies in this, and then all of a sudden they get scared away because boom, everything's now a lot harder and a lot less fun for them. And it would be okay if Treyarch came out and said, well, we're increasing the difficulty of zombies so that those new players now get a challenge within the game, but they didn't say that. They just did a balancing change where zombies are now a lot stronger and their weapons are a lot weaker. One of my friends in the Discord said it almost takes 10 melees to kill a single zombie once it's fully upgraded. And melee weapons used to deal, it was like a one-shot kill if you had a tier 4 upgrade on your melee weapon and had it triple pack-a-punched. It was a one-shot kill regardless of what melee weapon you're using. Sure, it was slow going to kill zombie by zombie round after round, but you could easily go to round 100 using melee weapons only. Now you can't because it takes 10 single swipes at a zombie to kill them, and it just doesn't make sense of why they would make it increasingly difficult. It's like they're changing the formula of Cold War zombies way too late into the cycle. It's like they're trying to scrap everything that happened previously within the Cold War sequence of zombies and start from scratch halfway through, which just doesn't work. One thing that they're also doing is it seems like there is a huge lack of content and story within Cold War. I know there's some people that like the Cold War zombies story so far from the intel and what goes on in game, but if you are a big zombies fan like me and have been deeply invested in the Ether story that ran for 10 years and even somewhat the Chaos storyline, this story is super boring and watered down and just feels like a spec ops story rather than a zombie story, which is completely fine if that's what Treyarch is going for. But for my personal taste, there is a huge lack of story here, and I know some people like it, but let me explain why I don't. Every single Easter egg that we have had so far is we're at some random facility or Omega base and we do something to stop the outbreak at this Omega base or the Omega facility, fight a boss, and then exfil. And then with the new Outbreak DLC Easter egg, we are at an Omega facility, we beat the boss, and then we exfil. The story is not interesting whatsoever, and the Easter eggs are super boring, and I like realistically realistically, if the Easter eggs are going the same way that they're going now, the next zombies maps that come out, if they come out, are gonna be Omega Facility, stop the outbreak or stop them from causing an outbreak, beat the boss zombie of the map, exfil. That's what it's going to be. And some people might enjoy that, but a lot of the OG zombie players and what zombies is known for don't like that. And with the lack of content, we have seen only 2 maps. I don't consider Outbreak to be a brand new zombies experience because it's basically bringing the zombies and zombie mechanics into the already made Fireteam Dirty Bomb maps. It's like the same game mode as Onslaught, which is just the multiplayer maps of Cold War with zombies in them, and all you're doing is killing zombies on the multiplayer maps. It's not a new experience because it's basically Onslaught literally in the Fireteam Dirty Bomb maps. And then so we really only have 2 zombies experiences, or at least main zombie experiences in the game right now, and that's D Machine and Firebase C. And by now, usually we would have DLC 2 with DLC 3 right around the corner in previous games. So we also have been told that the next zombies map is going to be coming out late June or July, if anything, which means timeline wise, we are only going to see 3 zombies maps within Cold War. Now this could be realistically 2 reasons. Either reason 1, a lot of the zombies devs have been dragged to Raven Software to work on Warzone, or B, the Treyarch zombies crew just isn't focused on making zombies anymore, and zombies will never seem and be the way it was when we were getting 4 DLC maps a year on top of the 3 or 4 maps that we got on launch. Or we could have a completely different reason where they want to scrap the current zombie story that they're working on right now, and they're just going to leave it as some weird flagship mode that stays only in Cold War, and then maybe bring it back to the Chaos storyline. Personally, my wish and hope for Cold War Zombies was they actually continued the Chaos storyline, because they could have gone some cool directions with the Chaos storyline, since the Chaos storyline was based off of real world events and mythology and a bunch of stuff that people are already interested in within the zombies community, and they could have gone more full-fleshed with that, but they just went with a new Dark Ether storyline, which is like a spin-off continuation from what happened after Tag Your Totem in Black Ops 4, but it feels so random and just it doesn't feel like a zombies game. And yeah, it feels very off, and that could be just because I'm not comprehending what Treyarch is trying to do with this new storyline yet. Also, there's a huge issue with Easter eggs. They're being solved a lot faster, and they're a lot more simple than before, and Treyarch has come out and said that the Easter eggs are going to be a lot easier in this game, so a wider variety of players can complete the Easter eggs, because it used to be in the old Call of Duty games, only like 5% of the population that owned zombies and that actually played zombies completed the Easter egg, which is a huge amount of people. That's like hundreds of thousands compared to like the 30 million that buy Call of Duty every year, but still, that's a lot of people that are doing the Easter egg. And if you're in the zombies community, odds are you're doing the Easter eggs in general, but the non-zombies players would just never do them. So Treyarch's goal with these Easter eggs was to introduce a new player base to do Easter eggs. But my thought is, with how the Easter eggs are going in Cold War, the new players that are completing the Easter eggs for the very first time in their zombies career, the Easter eggs aren't intriguing enough to make you want to play more Easter eggs, because as I said earlier in the video, every Easter egg is pretty much the exact same. Do some random fetch quest where you're walking around the map trying to look for parts or something you need to complete the Easter egg, and then once the fetch quests are done, then you do boss fight and then exfil. And if it's every map, we did it in D Machine, we did it in Firebase C, and we did it in Outbreak. And sure, you could say, well, in Black Ops 3, every Easter egg in all the main maps of the game was do fetch quests, do some puzzles, boss fight, and then use the summoning key to obtain the soul of whatever main character was on that map. And you could, yes, I completely agree that the Gorod Krovi, Zetsubo Shima, and Ryzen Easter eggs all had the same premise, but what was good about each of the maps is the Easter eggs were completely different from one another, and it wasn't just fetch quest, boss fight, and then exfil. It was fetch quests, puzzle solving, a crazy boss fight, and then we witness one of the characters that we've been playing with for years die in front of us and obtain their soul and try to comprehend everything that just happened. And sure, you could say the Black Ops 3 Easter eggs were all super similar into the conclusion of what happened in each map, minus Shadows of Evil and Revelations, but realistically, we had so much build up, and it wasn't so much the Easter egg that everyone was involved with, it was the storyline and what happened. No one had any issues with the Easter eggs because they were fun and entertaining to do. What it feels like in Cold War is all the Easter eggs are the exact same, and it doesn't feel like there's any variation between any of them. They all feel like the same Easter egg over and over again. I've done the Outbreak Easter egg, and it feels the exact same as like a Firebase Z Easter egg, and like the Firebase Z Easter egg feels the exact same way the D Machine Easter egg, and there's no thematic change in the Easter eggs, and the lack of story makes it a little bit less intriguing for some of those more hardcore Zombies fans. And my thought process is the people that did the D Machine Easter egg as their first Easter egg in Zombies history, and then they did the Firebase Z Easter egg, and then realized the Easter eggs were super similar, they might not want to do Easter eggs in the future because they're so similar, and they're like, oh, why would I want to do an Easter egg if I'm doing the exact same thing that I did on the previous map? But with the old Call of Duties, as the Easter eggs were so dynamic and complex, not with just the steps themselves, but with the story that was told, that it made them interesting and it made you want to do all of them because all of them told a different story. But in Cold War, it's, hey, look, we did some cool thing at an Omega base, maybe saved one or two characters and exfilled. Yay, we saved the day. But it doesn't, like, the end of the Easter eggs don't feel rewarding. Not a single cutscene has felt rewarding, because in D Machina, the cutscene was you literally fly away as the base explodes. Firebase Z, you literally drive away with Maxis after you kill the Orda. In Outbreak, after you save the day, you stop Omega's plans, and that's it. And it's not like a super complex Omega evil plan. It's literally just, oh, we stopped them, so we'll just destroy the rockets and hide them where no one will ever find them. It's nothing super cool. It's just like, oh, we did this, let's just kind of clean up our mess, and that's it. It's not really in depth, which is the huge issue with Easter eggs for me within Cold War. And I know a lot of other players who have been really in depth into the Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 storylines, and they've been invested in the Ether story for years. A lot of them have the same opinions and thoughts as me, and I know there are some people that enjoy the simplicity and like the super mundane nature of the Easter eggs and story this year, but for the majority of long-term Zombies players, a lot of people find issues with it. Mr. T Lexify in his past couple of videos has voiced his complaints not only on replayability, but the storyline themselves and a lot of the issues with the Zombies in general within Cold War. And speaking of Mr. T Lexify talking about replayability issues, there are some huge ones that have just been introduced into the game. We've talked about weapon balancing previously in this video and a lot of issues with it. And since they've nerfed a lot of the weapons and buffed the Zombies, some of the replayability right then and there is taken away. If you look at channels like Samuel the 17th, his main content is getting to round 100 on any map with any gun. And a lot of his popular videos is getting to round 100 with this new Mastercraft blueprint, or getting to round 100 with the ballistic knife, with the combat knife, with the crossbow. All of these weapons that in older Call of Duties would never have been able to get to round 100 on their own, he's been using those day after day, getting to round 100. And since they've all been nerfed, it is super hard to get to round 100 with the melee weapons, and it's going to be a lot more time consuming. The good thing with Cold War before this balancing patch was you could get to round 100 with any gun in the game as long as it was fully upgraded and you could buy ammo for it. That was literally the requirements to get to round 100. But now you have to rely on the best of the best weapons to get to round 100, which is destroying the replayability, because a lot of people, believe it or not, in Cold War like to go to high rounds with every weapon. So they'll go to round 100 with the Gallo 12 one game, and then they'll want to do it with the KSP 45 the next, or the MP5 or an LMG. And a lot of people are going to round 100 with a multitude of guns because that's the replayability for them. And to make things worse, the Outbreak game mode has more replayability than the round-based maps in the game, which also brings to my attention, is Treyarch really actually like intentionally trying to kill the round-based Zombies experience, and they want to follow something like Outbreak for the rest of the Zombies story, regardless of what game it's on. And it seems like Treyarch is making all these changes without telling us what their goals are. So it genuinely seems at times like they're trying to kill off zombies because they don't want to do it anymore, or they want to destroy zombies and build it from the ground up. And I'm completely fine if Treyarch doesn't want to make zombies anymore or wants to build it from the ground up. But if they said, hey, we're going to redo the zombies experience from the ground up and make it from scratch, and we're going to change everything you've ever known, and this is how it's going to be from now on. If they just said that, simple as that, and then there wouldn't be issues. But I just, there's a lot of issues in the game right now, and a lot of people are voicing their opinions on zombies. And yeah, that's gonna be the video for today. That's gonna be my long rant. I realistically could rant about this for like hours on end, but that's my thoughts and opinions on Treyarch killing zombies recently. Let me know in the comment section what you guys disagree or agree with, or if you guys have any other opinions that I didn't mention within this video. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. There's no hard feelings. Tomorrow's video is going to be what I wish I knew before getting the Dark Aether camo, since a lot of you guys have requested that in the comment section of yesterday's video. Subscribe for more videos in the future. I'm about to head out, and if there is one, I'll see ya in the next one. Peace.